guys, we are live for another Dose of Positivity, and I am so grateful you're all here, and I want to welcome you to, I don't know which episode this is, but next time I'm on live, I'm going to be able to count, because I think we've been on for almost a year, and each episode gets better and better each time. I'm more comfortable. I love seeing all our regulars on here live every week and engaging with us. We are so grateful to have you here. And to all of you new guests who are on today, welcome. All you humanitarians, stewards of the land, lovers of life, lovers of abundance, and wanting to bring more abundance into the world. We welcome you to this incredible conversation, and I'm going to be having today with my very, very special guest, Elaine Starling. I mean, that just the name in itself is epic. And I just want to remind everybody on the show right now who's on live, and thank you again for being here, is that this is a live discussion. And at any time you have a question or you have a comment, put it in the chat. And at any time too, you can also raise your hand, especially towards the end of the show. And if you decide you want to come out and be courageous and show your abundant self and come on live, we would love to invite you up onto our Zoom stage. And all of you who are restreaming in too, put your comments in there. We are monitoring the comments on LinkedIn and our Facebook group and so forth. So we are monitoring you too. So please put your questions in there as well. And before we get started, I just wanted to tell you that I am just full of abundance and full of love. My family is visiting from North Carolina, and it has been an incredible stormy time, like it is in the rest of the country, from the East Coast to the West Coast, all the way west to Hawaii. We have been having incredibly stormy weather, which has just been super amazing. And I'm so grateful for the abundance of the rain that's nourishing the air, the soil, and all of the incredible bounty that comes from this rain. So, but I wanted to read you something from one of my books. We always start like this, Elaine. I read a short thing before I introduce you as people are coming into the room, as they are. And I'm going to be reading from Living Like the Future Matters, The Evolution of a Soul to Soul Entrepreneur. And for all you new people who haven't been on here, I am an author and a speaker and all these good things. And you can read about me on my website, because I see there's some new people here. And this is the first book I ever wrote. And it is very on point for the topic of today. And Elaine, you can refer to this during our conversation if you'd like. This comes from the chapter called Aging and Awakening. And it is the kind of some of my closing words in this very big book. Imagine a world without crisis. Abundance is a choice. A place where we all feel safe, have plenty to eat, breathe clean air, and drink clean water. A world where everyone has a place to sleep and feel loved and have basic needs met. A place we share our abundance. Imagine if Earth was a place where all inhabitants, from the largest mammals to the tiniest microorganisms, were respected in the web of life. What does this look like to you? The future matters to us, but it matters even more for our children, our grandchildren, and generations beyond. What seeds will you plant for them to harvest? Let's ask ourselves what messages, dreams, and values we are passing on to them. And what stories will you share? What gifts, and burdens will they inherit? Let's share our stories and help others adapt, accept, rejoice in the beauty that we create. I ask you to make a promise to yourself that your purpose in life goes beyond judgment and fear. Let us evolve, awaken, and continue to unfold the petals of our lives. Strive to be the best version of yourself and a bright light in the world so that you can be part of the solutions. Remember, our life is the total of what we believe. The more energy we put into living like the future matters, the faster it will manifest. Encourage each other to do right in life. I hope that you will stay faithful to the blessings that have been given to you and allow those blessings to guide you to serve the greater good. Always remember, abundance is a choice.
That's beautiful.
No, you
How
like
interesting. It's so interesting to me that, the same kind of message gets given to different people at different times, but it's a similar message just coming at it from slightly different directions. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I'll have to get you a copy of my book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know your peeps will love it. And yes. And I can't wait to share your bio. It's a short bio. And then Elaine, you're going to go off on some many, many beautiful tangents that's going to help people rise like a phoenix and feel the abundance and the gratitude. So this is a big, huge, gigantic dose of positivity for all of you in the depth of winter and the storms that are happening around the country and the world. So everybody, this is Elaine Starling, and she is actually an abundance ambassador. And she's a sought after TEDx speaker, international speaker. She's a coach, a trainer, a successful entrepreneur. Yay. Elaine's unusual spiritual awakening, which we're going to learn about, prompted her to help people who crave spiritual enlightenment to partner with the divine so that they achieve the financial abundance and more. Elaine leads fellow travelers on the abundance journey in a 6-week experience, sharing proven business strategies with these incredible personal development and spiritual insights that generate abundance. Elaine, welcome to A Dose of Positivity. And with that, without any further ado, Elaine, please let everybody know a little bit about your background, who you are, and tell us about this unusual spiritual awakening that you have had.
Yeah, absolutely. I have the privilege of having 2 parents that are both PhDs in math. And I said, that's why I turned out as unusually as I did, because when you've got a couple of brainiacs as parents, it kind of warps how you see the world sometimes, because I'm not that kind of brainiac. That's just not who I am. But I had a really successful marketing business. And then on New Year's Day, 2005, I was blessed to have a stroke. And I say blessed because during my stroke, I had a conversation with our higher power, and I got a complete download about how everything works, why we're alive, how we can live our best lives, and what happens next after this life. And I got to tell you, that part is actually a graduation. It's not an ending, it's a graduation. The best example I can give you, it's kind of like the difference between kindergarten and first grade. Okay, in kindergarten, you have nap time. In first grade, there's no more nap time. Well, when you're physical, you have a body. And when you're not physical, you don't have a body, but there's still a whole lot going on. And it's really good and it's really fun. And frankly, one of the key messages that I got that a lot of people get confused about and stumble over, if you think about how everything is actually pure love, that's what everything is made of. And the divine views everything as pure love. Now, we can experience disasters, but from the divine perspective, everything is pure love. How do you expand on something that's already there? Well, the divine got smart and created human beings who experience contrast. Some things we like, some things we don't like. And so because we get those 2 extremes, right and wrong, good and bad, hot and cold, yes and no, that friction gives us the opportunity to pretend that not everything is love. And so then we're given the challenge to show up as more love in the moment for ourselves and for others. And when we're willing to do that, we actually expand the divine. I mean, when you look at it the right way, human beings are the cutting edge of the divine. We're in partnership with the divine. So the divine really wants you to be successful. They really, really want you to have the life of your dreams. And that dream is about being more love and experiencing more love in every moment.
Oh, I just love you. And I just want to back here for a second because I can't agree with you more. I just love this topic. Love. So your parents were these math wizards, right? And they had very high IQ, brain power, and all this. And and then you have this stroke. And did they know why? I mean, why did let's put the divine aside for a minute,
right?
And because a lot of times on this show we talk about people overcoming illness and just what the amazing things that people have conquered to get where they are.
My situation was a little bit different because I came out of the stroke with absolutely no damage whatsoever. Nobody could tell that anything happened. I got checked out by doctors at Stanford and doctors where I live in Sacramento. I had all the MRIs, all that stuff done. And they're like, we have no idea what happened. And I knew exactly what happened because when the divine wants to have a conversation, trust me, the divine's going to find a way to have a conversation with you. And it was really interesting because when the stroke happened, I started to get this kind of tunnel vision and sparkles around the edges of my eyesight. And I thought, oh, well, it's just kind of a weird headache, But then my right arm started to go numb and the right side of my face started to go numb. And those are two classic symptoms of a stroke. So we were on vacation in New Zealand on the South Island in Queensland. And it was New Year's Day. We'd had breakfast. We were wandering in and out of shops. It was a gorgeous day. And my husband was really worried and he took me to a little medical center. They gave me an aspirin and they asked me to describe a picture on the wall. I knew exactly what the picture was. And I tried to explain what I was looking at, but the words that came out of my mouth made no sense. And I knew they didn't make sense. Now, my husband was worried and the medical technician was a little worried. I wasn't worried at all. I felt like it was a lazy Saturday morning. I felt so good and so comfy and so relaxed. And I just wanted to take a nap. So finally, they let me take a nap. And as soon as I did, I realized I was in this massive cloud and I was a part of it and it was a part of me. And I heard this cloud speak to me, but it was not like auditory. It was in my body, this immediate message. And this cloud said, this is perfect. And somehow I knew the cloud was talking about me. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't speak multiple languages. I haven't solved world hunger. I haven't climbed Mount Everest. I'm not all that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I got this message back. You don't understand. You are designed with your skills, your talents, your abilities, your interests, your preferences, as well as your faults, your foibles, your hot buttons, your issues. All of that is combined to make exactly the perfect being we need most. This is perfect.
Yeah.
So I really want everyone to get that message back. Yes, we're talking about abundance. And honestly, you are the abundance you're looking for. What we see in the world is a reflection of what is unseen in ourselves. And when you can own the perfection of who you are and be comfortable and whole in who you are, that's when abundance really starts to show up for you in all the tangible forms that we usually think of as abundance.
So how you have this, so how long were you in this state and then you come out of it and you have no side effects, you're not numb, you're normal?
Yeah. So I was in a little medical center and then they took me to a local hospital. And of course, it's New Year's Day, so everything's closed. Most people are on vacation. And the nearest hospital that has all the equipment is about 3.5-hour drive away. So they put me in an ambulance and I'm out of it for the whole drive. I'm out of it for probably 4 or 5 hours. And just as we're driving up to the other hospital, I start hearing this alarm going off. And I talk to the technician in the ambulance with me. I'm like, that's really annoying. Could you turn that thing off? Because I'd like to go back to sleep. And she's like, well, actually, you're the one setting the alarm off. It's like, oh, oops, sorry. My bad. And I came out of it at that point. But it was really interesting because during my stroke, I would think a question and the answer was immediately in my body. Past, present, future, everything combined, colors we can't see, sounds we can't hear, everything was just instantly in my body, an instant knowing. And it was so fun. It was so fun. I could tell there were other entities around, other people from other planets and other beings and people who have passed, my ancestors. All these people are around and mingling. It was almost like being at a really big networking party and everybody's having a great time and they come together and they connect and they go apart. But I'm off in this alcove with the divine and we're having this intense conversation. We're having such a good time. And then I get this question, are you sure you're done? I was like, well, no, I'm in the middle of my vacation. We're having a great time. You know, we love New Zealand. You should really check it out. Oh, yeah, right. You probably know all about it. Yeah, no, I'm not done. And I heard, great, get back and get busy. And boom, I came out of the stroke. 0 damage. Yeah, it was that fast. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's really weird.
So has there been a record of anybody else? Like, I want to have a stroke now. Sign me up.
Well, part of the reason why, I created the abundance journey is so you can understand how everything works without having to have the stroke. Because when I came out of the stroke, it was like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. For one thing, I did not woo, let alone woo before my stroke. So going from being kind of, I would say, not terribly conscious, and then now you're conscious, baby. I was like, what the hell just happened here? Right? It was quite the shock to my system. And at first, I wasn't sure it was real, but I kept getting messages. Now, when I was actually in my stroke, I felt so much intense, beautiful love. I mean, down to every atom of my body. It was almost like a Niagara Falls of love, just constant saturation of love. And it was so beautiful. It was so wonderful. So I come out of the stroke and I'm back to being just the regular human being. And I'm like, dang, I want more of that. I'll take 2 on Thursday and I want a spigot so I can turn it on whenever I want. How do I get more of that? So I started doing all this research and checking out different resources, different experts. And everybody said, well, you just have to allow. You just have to open yourself up and allow yourself to receive the messages. I'm like, okay. So I started allowing, and I would sit for guidance and allow. And I would get messages every once in a while. And it always felt really great. But it was kind of more like a partially plugged watering can. It was no Niagara Falls, let me just say, okay? So finally, I was getting frustrated. I said, okay, why isn't allowing working for me? I really want that intense connection. What is it about allowing that's not working for me? And I got this message back immediately. It said, what is the image that comes to mind when you think of the word allow? And I instantly saw myself behind a door with a chain on the door. And I'm anxiously peeking out the door at the divine. And I'm freaking terrified because I can't control the divine. I don't know what's coming. I don't know how to be in charge of this. I don't know what to expect. And I want to be able to slam that door shut in a heartbeat. And I thought, oh my goodness, for me, the word allow is a mind-based word. Because my mind wants order and structure and logic and sequence and guarantees would be really good. And I want to know what's coming and I want to know how to control it. And I thought, well, that's not working for me. I don't want that kind of a relationship with the divine. So what would be more of a heart-based word for me? Because no two people have the same relationship with words. But for me, I really had to think about it. And for me, the best word is welcoming. Now I welcome the divine. I welcome abundance. I welcome new relationships. I welcome opportunities to speak with outstanding people like Donna and everyone on the call today, because this is what brings abundance in when you're wide open. So I took that door off the hinges and chucked the door. I don't need that. I can have an immediate direct connection with the divine at all times. And so can you.
I love it. listen, I got to just intervene here for a second because this is so exciting. First of all, I want to share with everybody one of the things that I do, and when I'm working with people a lot, there's that old adage, live each day like it's the last day of your life. And I totally turn it around. I said, no, it's time to live each day like it's the first day of your life. Eager, open eyes, wide, just totally curious and welcoming to all the new things. I mean, when just think about each day is a new day and you're living it like it's the first day. Like you could be drinking the same drink every day. It's my cherry juice, not my whatever. But I can change the whole physiology, how I'm feeling around it. Oh man, it's cherry juice. It's a whoa, instead, oh, it's cherry juice. And that's that attitude, right? That mindset. But the other thing, you keep referring to the divine. And I know, like for me, and I'm sure some other people must be as curious as I am, because you've said the word many times, the divine, without getting to, well, two things I want to talk about is woo and woo woo. But how your husband, like, and all your friends and people, like all of a sudden you went from being like, from two mathematician parents, anal kind of more orderly, to like all of a sudden I'm conscious and woo, and how people around you saw you in a touch with, now that you're in touch with this divine. And I know for me, when I think, and I want everybody who's on the call right now or listening to the replay to think about this, like, what does the divine mean to you? Because for all of us, it's different.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll say, oh, this is divine, or that's so divine, or, oh, you look divine. But what does the divine mean to you? And I'm asking everybody else right now, before you pop out and before I say what the divine is to me, like after listening to Elaine and all her enthusiasm, what do you, when you guys, because we all want to have this awakening that you speak of. I mean, I don't think there's anybody on this call or listening to this who doesn't want to feel that full and that purpose that you are driven to do now in such a passionate way. So the divine in all of us, right? So what was the divine for you before, and what is the divine for you now? And how does that divine keep you on path without getting too woo-woo?
Sure. So for me, I use the term the divine instead of saying God or the universe or all that is. And it really is an amalgamation of all the spiritual teachers, the universal essence that combines all of us, that is inside all of us, that creates all of us. And I personally experience the divine as effervescent joy. They are over the top, happy, excited, delighted, thoroughly energized by life. And they're constantly telling me, lighten up, honey. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to lean in with joy and energy and enthusiasm. And you don't have to know everything. That's not your job. You're supposed to partner with us and let us play with you. One of the best analogies I can think of is have you ever played a three-legged race? Have you ever participated in one of those three-legged races when you were a little kid? You partnered up with another kid and you tie two legs together in the middle, and then you have to try to coordinate to run, and you can trip each other up really easily. Well, you're actually doing a three-legged race with the divine. And you kind of have a choice, right? If you choose to think that you're all on your own, that it's all on you, that you have to figure everything out, and that there's like a success fail bar that you have to reach, well, then you're trying to do the entire race all by yourself, and you're busy dragging the divine behind you. And trust me, that's a lot of load to carry. And meanwhile, the divine's kind of laughing, going, seriously? It doesn't have to be this hard, honey. I'm happy to help you out with whatever you want to do, but, there's a better way. And instead, you could choose to partner with the divine and collaborate, coordinate your movements, because you have to take action. You can't just sit there on the couch eating bonbons and expect everything to happen. No, you have to be really clear about what your intention is, then take action and pay attention to all the things that are lining up with your intention. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But as you get into this rhythm with the divine, you'll notice you can take a huge jump across the room. The divine scoops you up and takes a huge jump across the continent. Mm-hmm. There are things you could never have anticipated for yourself that suddenly are opportunities above and beyond anything you dreamed up that get you really further, faster to where you want to go. So why not partner with the divine? And this is, so one of the things that I talk about is, yeah, baby energy. And it's kind of what you were describing also, Donna. That yeah, baby energy is when you show up and you're excited, you're interested, you're curious, you're full of delight and wonder. You don't know what's coming and you don't care because you know it's going to be great. It's like this conversation. We don't know exactly where it's going to go. We don't know every single sentence is going to be said tonight. And we don't have to, right? Yeah. We're co-creating something that is so magical and so beautiful and so perfect for all of us. Yeah. How can it get even better than this?
I love this. And one of the things too, I mean, everything you're saying, I'm vibrating and resonating with so much, because I think that a lot of people, especially in the 21st century now, with everything that's going on and the media being so thrown in our faces and not objective at all, really fear-based, and taking us off the divine, taking us off that path. And I don't know if any of you people who are listening have animals, like right now, my dog, she's right down here. You can see her snout. She's hearing this conversation and she is so fired up about everything. And it's like, sometimes it's just getting these signs and allowing these signs to happen, like the divine. And my animals, I spend a lot of time. I have 3 big dogs, and she just heard what you just said, and she came up to me and she was nudging me like, yeah, like, do we have to get hit on the head, or to just listening to the signs? Like, I didn't know I was even, just like you said, who's directing this conversation? Well, Lucky, my dog, who was abandoned and almost dead when I found her, is now one of my conduits to the divine, and she keeps me calm and centered. And I think for all of us is just, it's different what that divine is. And I'm so glad you were so objective with the definition of it, because whether it's Jesus or Buddhism or Judaism or all these Catholicisms that that people are thinking, well, this is that puts us right back to where you were pre-stroke. This is what I'm supposed to believe. This is what I'm have to do, and this is and allowing ourselves to let go of these old unserving beliefs. So abundance, you keep referring back to abundance, and we have a good feeling, and I hope everybody who's listening to this now can, like, the divine changes every day. Like, to me, sometimes it comes in the form of wind or the rain or patterns or pounding on the roof. If you listen to it and you get the download and the message, and you allow it to be, oh, the abundance of the rain, you can't go out maybe and go swimming in the ocean that day, so you can either sit around and be completely wrecked and bummed out about it, or you can go take a shower in the rain and feel how amazing your complexion and your skin feels after having the opportunity to do that. You can have a mindset around what that abundance can be. You can either bum out, or you can let it in and take that divine energy in and make the best of each situation. Because sometimes, let's face it, people are going through really hard shit sometimes. There are shit storms everywhere, not just in the weather. So I'd love for you to talk about when someone is feeling really a lack of abundance and really going through, whether it's a grieving process with a loved one or losing a job or a health issue, she's completely paralyzed, really. Where do you start with somebody to help them tap into this divine and to find abundance around all this negativity.
Absolutely. So there are a few different steps that you take. And I do a process called Activate Abundance. And this is the easiest way to turn on that abundance tap and experience abundance in every aspect of your life. So the first step is gratitude. It's always gratitude. Gratitude is the doorway you step through before you experience love, before you experience joy, before you experience abundance, before you experience anything you want. You have to step through the door of gratitude. Now, you can allow anything to trigger your gratitude. It can be beautiful bird song. It can be a fun song on the radio. It can be a neat book that you're reading. It can be anything, smile from a stranger, little puppies playing together, anything that makes you feel just a little bit better. Get in gratitude for that. Now, the next step is to acknowledge something that's an aha for you. So, for example, you didn't know that you could activate abundance. And there's 5 simple steps to activate abundance. Who knew, right? That's kind of cool when you find out there's actually a system, a process where you can turn on that abundance spigot for yourself anytime you want to. And not only do you do it for yourself, you do it for others at the same time. So step 1 is gratitude. Step 2 is acknowledge something that is an aha for you.
Say 1 second,
Sure.
I want to make sure you write these in the chat, and everybody, I have a pen and paper if you do. I always find that when someone, a guest is speaking like this, write it down. So, okay, abundance. Go ahead.
Yes. Gratitude. You want to activate abundance. So step 1 is gratitude. Step 2 is acknowledge something that can make a difference for you. It can be something that's an aha, something that you just heard in a conversation, a thought that just occurred to you, whatever. Step 1 is gratitude. Step 2 is acknowledge something that's important. Step 3 is appreciate the difference it can make for you in your life. Mm-hmm. So using the Activate Abundance process as an example, the difference it can make in your life is it gets you in flow with abundance, instantly in flow with abundance. So that you start to receive more in your life. You are guided effortlessly, joyously to everything that you want to experience in your life. I mean, honestly, how can it get even better than this? Okay. Mm-hmm. Step 1 is gratitude. Step 2 is acknowledge something that's important. Step 3 is appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Step 4 is to activate it. There are 2 different ways that you can activate it. One way is you pull out your calendar and you actually schedule it on your calendar. Like you want to make sure that you get to participate and attend live the Dose of Positivity whenever you can, because it's an easy way to get your energy up, connect with really interesting people, and just get you in flow with abundance, right? So if it's something you can schedule on the calendar, that's one way to activate it. The other way is to create a trigger for yourself or an anchor. I tend to pull on my earlobe. I find that a really easy way to remind me, oh yeah, I want to activate abundance. That's important. And every time I activate abundance, it activates it for me, but that's not the limit. It goes through me to everyone I'm connected to. So it ripples out to actually millions of people. I can tell you about that too. So step 1, gratitude. Step 2, acknowledge something that's important. Step 3, appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Step 4, activate it by either putting it on your calendar or assigning a trigger to it. Step 5, celebrate your progress. You're making progress. Now you've got a process you can use, and you can use it with yourself in your own mind. You can use it in conversation with other people. I've had clients who were struggling with some difficult relationships in their family, and I had them start activating abundance with the people who normally they had a kind of contentious relationship with. And as they started doing this, they start every conversation with gratitude and they end it with celebration. Mm-hmm. Their relationships are completely transformed. Every conversation is a conversation of love and how much we value each other and appreciate each other. It's just night and day difference. Yeah. So it's that simple to activate abundance. And I really hope that you'll use that all the time, all the time.
In all your conversations with people, I mean, it's pretty simple to go through that. You just got to remember the sequential steps here: gratitude, acknowledge, appreciate, activate, trigger, celebrate. And I love this trigger. I can just see me talking to my son right now. And, you know, he's got really long hair too. So I can help. This is good. This is perfect timing right now for these triggers. Thank you so much for sharing that. I hope you guys all write that down or copy it down from the chat, because that is really helpful no matter what phase you are in feeling. And I love the idea of starting out with these tiny tasks, almost like it's taking, like acknowledging each thing. Like, I'm grateful Tito didn't bite me, you know? So, I mean, you know, it could be as simple as that.
I want to share one other thing because it's so powerful. It's so powerful. So this is like my absolute favorite book. It's called Connected: The Surprising Power of Our Social Networks and How They Shape Our Lives. Okay, Connected. And it's written by Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler. Came out in the early 2000s. Brilliant book. These guys are social scientists. They work at the university level, and they studied for years and years and years how, you know, the 6 degrees of separation thing, you know, how connected are we and how much influence do we have over each other? Well, they came up with something called the 3 degrees of influence rule. So what the 3 degrees of influence rule says, if you imagine a bullseye, and here you are at the center of the bullseye, you have influence 3 levels away from you: your friends, friends, friends. It's kind of interesting. I figured you're friends, maybe, but 3 levels? Wow, 3 levels away from you. I thought, wow, that's interesting. But how many people is that? So I asked Dr. Google, and she showed me an article that was recently published in the New York Times with some research that says the average American knows about 600 people. And I thought, good Lord, I don't know 600 people. There's not a way in the world. So I asked a couple of friends, and they're like, oh, no, you know much closer to like 1,000 people. So, okay, I didn't do the math. So let's pretend that these scientists who did the math actually know, and let's pretend 600 is the right number. So if we go back to our bullseye, here you are at the center of the bullseye, that first ring is the 600 people that you know. Well, every single one of those 600 people knows 600 people. That's 360,000 people in your second ring. Every single one of those 360,000 people knows 600 people. That's 217 million people in your third ring. According to these social scientists who did all the math and did all the research, every single thing you think, feel, say, or do ripples out to 217,360,600 people. You being you is the most valuable thing you can do for this planet. Now, that's not freaky. Now we're going to get freaky. Okay. I think it's on page, I think it's 54. I don't remember exactly, but they said, if you want to know about the impact that you actually have, when you're having a great day, those 600 people in your first ring are 15% more likely to have a great day just because you are having a great day. And that 360,000 people in your second ring are 10% more likely to have a great day just because you're having a great day. And that 217 million people that you can't imagine knowing or influencing them, 6% more likely to have a great day just because you're having a great day. So don't think you don't matter. You matter so much more than you can ever imagine. You are so valuable, so important, so precious, and so connected. So that also has to do with when you're not having such a great day. Don't worry about it. It's not nearly as contagious because nobody wants it. It's kind of like dodgeball, you know, everybody's trying to escape it. But at the same time, remember, you're connected to all these people. You're connected to Donna and me. We tend to be pretty high vibe people and high energy people and up people. So anytime you're having a not quite there day or moment, think of us and your energy will immediately pop into a higher level. It is that easy. It is that fast. You are connected, baby.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Alan's head is smoking. I think his wires are really connected. Wow, this is great. And you'll put that book in the chat there. This is great. I definitely want to check it out. And also, you guys, if you like what we're talking about here, you'll definitely want to read Living Like the Future Matters, the evolution of a skull to soul entrepreneur. We'll make sure we'll put that in the link as well. Oh, I'm so excited for you to share that. You know, I always use the expression, when something happens good, my dog agrees with me. It's like a pebble in a still pond, right? You throw a pebble in a still pond and your energy reverberates. But I never had the scientific numbers to equate to that metaphor of what you're talking about, that pebble.
I know.
And I love this. So I love to have the science backing up things that I totally believe is true. Wow. So
it's my favorite book. I'm like, oh, so awesome.
I love it. Well, I hope my book becomes one of your favorites too, because
it will.
It's so much to it, honey. So how do we, like, okay, we're all here. I think everybody's probably elevated off their seats as far as I can tell. I know I am. I feel a million times better. Not even that I felt bad before I came on, but I am totally elevated. And if anybody, you know, just put in the chat there how you're feeling. Are you feeling good? Say yes, right? Yeah. You know, give us some love, give us some high five, because just now listening to the science and the evidence that Elaine has provided for us, realize that we are more powerful than we think. And we can do the same thing with our negative thoughts and the negative things. So it's really important now. The world is hungry and craving and begging for all of us to stay in a high vibe place and to share this and to connect with what divine means to us. So without having a stroke, we talked a little bit, like my dog's coming up to me and connecting to divine. Can you talk about a little bit about signs, what you've noticed working with people, like when they come to you and they might be feeling like skeptical, right? And like, all right, do I have a seance? I mean, how do you recommend all of us leaving here so we can tap in?
Okay. So whatever is happening in your life, whatever is showing up in your world, it's driven by your intention. Your intention is how you want to feel and how you want others to feel around you. Now, when we're at a lower level of consciousness, it's all about me, baby. Me. I want to feel good, and who cares what you feel, right? That's the lower level of consciousness. A higher level of consciousness, I want for you what I want for myself, right? Mm-hmm. So that's intention. So take a look at what's happening in your world and back up a little bit to look at where your intention is. And you can always reset your intention. I highly encourage people to be really clear about your intention. It was funny, before we started the conversation tonight with Donna, I was saying, you know, I've got a pretty bad storm that's coming through my area right now. And Donna had some issues earlier in the day with her computer. And I'm like, okay, whoa, we're going to put an intention out there that our technology is going to work perfectly. The internet's going to be solid. We're going to have a great connection, really excellent dialogue, and it's all going to work perfectly for us, right? That's the intention. So you set an intention around what you want to experience, and it's a positive intention. Too often, we have this knee-jerk negative intention. Oh, I hope nothing goes wrong. No.
Right.
Say what you want, okay? Then take action. Start doing something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly in alignment with this intention that you just said. Maybe you enjoy a yummy cup of cocoa or tea, and that lifts your spirits a little bit. You're taking action. You're connecting with other people. You're sharing what your intention is. And people want you to be successful. They will share resources and tools. They'll introduce you to people. They'll open doors for you, because as you succeed, they succeed. You just have to be willing to share, this is my intention, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and people will contribute to that. Then the third step is to put your attention, your focus on what is working, especially what is working and is aligned with your intention. So let me give you a concrete example of what this looks like and how it has shown up for me. So about 3 months ago, I finally made the decision that I was going to learn how to meditate. I kept hearing for years how valuable meditation is, what a difference it makes, mind, body, spirit. I mean, it's just a really good healing thing to do for your body. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to find a meditation practice that I really enjoy. That's my intention. I'm going to find a meditation practice I really enjoy. I was reading a book at the time called The Secret Language of Feelings. Has nothing to do with meditation. Nothing. There's a random sentence, one sentence in the entire book that mentions a specific type of meditation. It felt like sirens were going off and flashing lights were going. I'm like, okay, great. Got it. Thank you, Divine. Got it. Need to pay attention to this. So I Googled to get some more information about this specific type of meditation. I find some guys in Wisconsin who are doing a free orientation over Zoom. So I sign up. It turns out it's me and these two guys, and that's it. And they walk me through kind of how it works and what to expect and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I would so enjoy doing that. You know, I'm in Sacramento, California, and at the time they were canceling all kinds of airline flights and they didn't have anything scheduled for a while. And, you know, it would be so nice if there was a group near me and if they could do the training soon, that would be awesome. Bummer that isn't happening. Well, the very next day, one of the guys in Wisconsin sent me an email with a link to a group in Sacramento that was teaching the meditation process the next weekend.
Wow.
So I just want to recap. My intention was to learn a meditation practice. I didn't have to go beating the bushes and doing a ton of research and evaluation. I can do that, but I am guided to discover one sentence in a book that has nothing to do with meditation that starts me on that journey. And yes, I do have to reach out to the guys in Wisconsin and get the orientation. I do have to pay to it, and I have to take the time to go to the training. And now I've got this wonderful meditation practice that I truly love, that lights me up. And it really has made a massive difference in my life. You don't have to control everything. You can set your intention, take action, and notice what lines up that aligns with your intention.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Right? Allow yourself to be, it's the word that comes to mind is freedom, you know, freeing ourselves from energy vampires and those demons that are not believers in the divine.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do that I think that's for me, that sounds like the first step of like composting what doesn't serve you and nourishing what does. So you said there were the three steps. Can you repeat those?
Sure. The first step is to set your intention.
Mm-hmm.
The second step is to take action that feels good.
Yeah.
The third step is to focus your attention on what is working, especially what is working that is aligned with your intention. So there's intention and attention.
I love that. The difference is very, very big. You know, you have this intention and what's happening in the age of social media and all the complexities that are thrown at us every day. We, especially turning on the news, I recommend people go on a digital detox, especially a media detox, at least for a week, once a month, and see how you feel. It is amazing. I'm pretty much on a media detox 27 days of the month.
Mm-hmm.
I will tap into the news, only if I'm on a long drive and to hear the same things repeated over and over again. You put your intentions on these, and then you act on these negative intentions, and then you put your attention on those things instead of maybe putting on the meditation tapes or taking, like for me, my meditation is walking in nature. We all find our way where we're going to put, but it's that intention right now, this minute, right now, making the intention right now. For anybody who's listening to this, no matter whether it's today or in a year or 2 or 5 from now, because it's replaying going nowhere, where is your intention? And it takes discipline, but it doesn't mean that I'm just recapping in my mind things that you're saying. It doesn't, this discipline is not a regimen. The discipline is listening to the divine. The discipline is listening to your intuition. The discipline is self-actualization. It's not, oh, I'm going to do this schedule or that, all these things. And I just really, I mean, you're giving this whole conversation so much clarity in 3 simple steps. And then also those 5 beautiful steps you gave us earlier on how to go through to even a conversation with my son, for instance, how to remember that everything starts with gratitude, knowledge,
appreciate.
knowledge, yeah, appreciate, and then activate the good things, and use those triggers, and don't forget to celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that simple. And if anybody wants more clarity around it, I do have a TEDx talk called Abundance is a Choice. And we have the link for it. We'll share the link with everybody in the chat. I'd really appreciate if you'd watch it, because all too often the knee-jerk response, like especially when you watch the news, and that is designed to trigger an emotional response, a negative emotional response in you. So you'll stay tuned and you'll stay focused and you'll watch the commercials. That's the only reason. So when you aren't paying attention, then it kind of sucks you into a poverty mindset and a poverty expectation, and you get poverty experiences. And when instead you control your intention and attention, you are in an abundance mindset. You attract abundance opportunities and you experience more abundance in your life. And that's what I want for everybody. I currently have a little over 286,000 views. My goal is 10 million, because too many people don't understand what they can control. And it's not especially hard. You just have to be aware. And when you remember to do it, and you've got that commitment, I'm showing up for myself, because not only is it me, I'm bringing 217,360,600 people with me, right?
I love that. So one of the things, Elaine, that I do, like sometimes, like everybody else, you know, you lie down in bed and you think, oh, I didn't do this today, or I didn't, and what, and this person, and you just like get all bundled up and then you can't sleep. And that doesn't happen to me very often, because I have a technique that I do that I'd love to share, if you don't mind, with everybody. I have, and I loved where you said that little door, you know, like that door, like it's got that fine line thing. You know, as soon as I start doing that, I give myself, and then this is that trigger thing, I give myself like a little hug, and I say, Donna, you know what? Today is the first day of the rest of your life. This is a new moment. This is a new time. You know, that was then, this is now. And let's start from here and let it go. And I'm out like a light. Because otherwise, I often, like many other people who have sleep problems, I don't. I'm a chronic sleeper. I'm a great sleeper. That's where we heal and repair. So and I know that. So I just tell myself every night before I go to bed, Donna, you need to deal with anything, you know, like we're gonna have a great night's sleep, and we are just gonna wake up fresh and feeling great. And it's like, if you guys read my blog this week, there's a great quote on there. Is, you know, we setting the intention in the first thing in the morning, and then setting the intention before we go to bed. Then all the intentions in between is abundance.
Yeah,
if that's the intention. If we want to be in hell, shit, why not? Go for it. That's your thing. But just remember how many people you're influencing. And
very
remember,
true.
like, I mean, look what we all look at, you know, last week we had a great guest on, David Rose, and he talked about a completely different subject, but we were talking about basically food security, and he's got a solution to how to create abundance in our food system, which I hope all of you, I know some of you on here already listened to the live, but who, for all of you haven't, you know, I encourage you to go back and listen to it. We'll put some of our other guests who speak on the subject of mindset and abundance, to go back and follow up with this. And this TEDx talk that Elaine did is phenomenal. I listened to it myself. It is so inspiring. It is so uplifting. It is so encouraging. And it's something, it's not as long as this, so you can get a micro dose of this conversation, and it's kind of like a trigger, turn Elaine Starling's TEDx on, and get into that mindset, or find out, maybe it's turning on Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, whatever it takes to get us out of the any kind of funk that we're in. And I find also, one last thing I want to say, and then I would love you to have some closing remarks here, because this was one of the fastest hours of my life. And that's when you're having a good time. Life goes by, right? So sometimes you want to slow life down, so you have some crappy things happening, but that's not what we want here. It's okay if things go a little faster when you're having a good time. But I just really want all of us just to take a moment of prayer and think about everything that Elaine has brought to our attention, these simple steps that we can take, and think about how you being in this abundance mindset, and the mindset of just pure, genuine love, kind of like what I read about. What if the world looked this way? And to know that you're part, just because you are up-leveling your vibration, it's just a powerful, powerful thing to know that you can be impacting people just by, like Elaine, you said, by being you, by truly being your authentic self. And the way we do that is allowing that divine within us to come out into the world. It's like we have the chance to be reborn each and every day. And Elaine, please send us off here with your high vibration. And you guys, before we do that, I just want to share with you that next week there will be no dose of positivity. I've only done this twice, I think, in the year. My family is visiting, and I'm going to be doing something like divinely epic with them on next Thursday. So I want you all to be sending me some love and some blessings. And then I'm not sure, I think Sophie Soul's coming on next. So just put whoever's in next. You'll tell me. I should have known that. But anyway, whoever it is, it's going to raise your vibe. It's going to be.
She's here, Mama Donna. It's Heather on March 9th. Yeah.
Heather, great. Heather, thank you so much for being here, honey. And what is our topic?
It's transforming like money into relationship with money.
Woo! We all want some abundance around that. So Heather, I'm so glad you're here. So we'll take this conversation and we'll bring it into the money mindset. That is so exciting. Who couldn't use a little bit more spare change, right? With a few zeros after it. So let's thank you so much for being here, Heather. And we have a lot to look forward to having Heather come on the show, because she's awesome. And thank you so much, Tel, for coming in. Is there anything that we need to address from any questions or chats, honey? Or anything that we have in the live streams, or we're all good?
Yeah, no questions from
okay.
the live
Well,
stream.
if anybody has no questions, then Elaine, I'd love for you to just leave us with some beautiful parting words. And I want to thank you so much. And I think you said you had a special gift even to give people from this call. So please take it home, baby.
Absolutely. And wonderful that Tel was able to put the information about the free gift in the chat already. It's called 5 Steps for Online Abundance. So these are things that you can do to reach out to other people online and start to create that abundance and opportunity for everyone. And I just want to remind you that every single experience you have is designed to be a blessing for you. And the divine is asking you to do 3 things. Because remember, you're here at the cutting edge of the divine and you are expanding love. So the divine, first of all, wants you to show up as more love for yourself and for everyone that you're interacting with. Be more love in the moment is the first mandate. The second one is notice the love that's already present here for you. And it's not obvious. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt, right? You have to dig under the bushes and you need to get out your magnifying glass and look for it. Love is already present for you. Notice the love that's present for you. And thirdly, come together and collaborate to create more love. That's what Donna does every week with A Dose of Positivity. Thank you so much for having me, Donna. What a delight.
What a delight. Thank you so much, and many, many blessings. I am so glad I am part of your circle of influence, radiating love out into the universe, into the beyond. Big, big love and aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us on another episode of A Dose of Positivity. Aloha.